Hey kids, Mrs. J here. Going to take a look today at the first shape on the shape sheet. So in week 11, we have a PDF that shows the shape sheet with 11 shapes. We're going to use shape number 1. So grid spacing is 0.5 inches. We're just going to count the boxes and figure out the size. So my best approach for this shape would be this L shape right here. That would make a good front view in this isometric shape. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This line length is 7 times 0.5 or 3.5 inches long. I'm going to come up this way about 1 inch because it's 2 boxes. And then across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 0.5, 2.5 inches this way. And then another inch going across this way. And the height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2.5 inches there. So if you come on over to Onshape, you want to be on your main screen, Onshape, click on IED or double click, click on Practice, double click, and then you'll be in your Practice folder. It'll say My Onshape, IED, Practice. All of your shapes from the shape sheet can reside in the Practice folder. So I'm going to come up to Create, Document. I'm going to name them by the number they have on that PDF. So this is shape number 1. I'm going to let that load. So now you'll see your choices. And if you come back here, you'll see that each shape has a number. So that's the easiest way to name them in Onshape. However you want to name them is up to you. You can work on this sheet in any order you please. Do the easiest first, whatever order you want. We have time. Okay, going back to Onshape, I want to come up here to my 3 bars and make sure that my workspace units are defaulting to inches. They should be. If you defaulted your original preferences in the beginning when you set up your account, you can always change that over here in My Account, Preferences, Default to Inches. Doesn't matter as long as this is on inches right now. Close that by green check mark. I'm going to choose the sketch feature in the top left. I'm going to choose the front plane. I'm going to go ahead and hide the top, the front, and the right side view by clicking on the eyeball right next to each one of these views on the left side here. So it leaves me only with my sketch. I can work on it this way, or I can click front and put it right in front of me on that view cube. I'm going to use my mouse to scroll out. I think you can still do that on a Chromebook. I think it's Control Alt and then slide. I'm not sure. And today we're going to use a line tool. The line tool is nice and easy because you can make individual lines rather than whole boxes. So it's up here in top left. It's called the line tool. You can also use L on your keyboard. I'm going to go right to the center there, that origin, and I'm going to left click. I'm going to drag to the right and notice that little black mark that's off and to the right. If I get away from being completely parallel to my x-axis there, that black mark goes away. So that little black line just helps me to understand that I'm perfectly straight and I'm not on an angle. See how it goes away? So look for that. Let it help you. You could put it in dimensions now, but I will do it later. It's just easier. So I'll just be close in size. Looking at the number, it's around 2.5 inches, so I'll get around there. 2.513, close enough. I'm going to go up about 1 inch. Remember, I want that black line again. See how I'm on an angle, but when I go straight, it's like, oh yeah, here I am. Try to get to 1. Around 1. Yeah, close enough. Left click. Don't worry about the numbers. Just get close so it's not crazy. I think we said this one was 2.5 going this way. Oh no, 1.5. So that was too far. Okay, so 1.5, close enough, 1.5. Come up here about 1.5. Come across. So when you come across on this one, all I'm doing is left clicking and then moving my mouse. I'm not holding anything down, just left click and move around. Kind of stays on the line tool. If you happen to have lost it along the way, you just maybe hit escape on your keyboard. You just get the line tool back again and you pick on the dot where you left off. So as you come up to the left side, you see how you get that dashed line? That dashed line means you're perfectly lined up with this bottom piece. So I like that. It saves me trouble. Left click and then come down and left click back on the origin. Because I'm on the origin, it's easy to meet. Escape on my keyboard. So you should have an L shape that is not the right dimensions right now. So we're going to come up here to the dimension tool. There are other tools that look just like this. Just be careful you're using dimension with the lowercase d. Click it, it highlights, and let's do this whole height here. I think it's at 2.5 inches. And the bottom we said had 7 boxes. Oh yeah, I made it too small. Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 7 times 0.5, so it should be 3.5 inches. I made mine way too small. The good news is you could do the math right here. So I could type in 3.5 because I know what it is, or I could do 7 times 0.5. Sorry. So you can use the asterisk down there. I know it's really tiny, but that's what I used. Enter. So 2.5, 3.5. I should be 1 inch over here. I'm going to left click, choose 1, enter. Again, I'm using the dimension tool right here. So if I left click, okay, sorry, my video got interrupted. If I left click and I pull on the line, pull it up, I can type in the dimensions, 2.5, enter. Left click, I probably don't need this right now. It's 1.5. It might give me an error message. Why? Let me hit escape. If this is 2.5 and this is 1, the only other line is here. It has to be 1.5 because I told it you have to be 2.5 here. So I don't need that. But if I were to do dimension and click on it and just look at it, oh, it's 1.5. Okay, hit escape. Dimension, click on the top, it should be 1. If it gives you an error message or it goes lighter color, see that's light gray, it just means that you forced it. It can't be anything else. If this is 2.5, that has to be 1 because I told it 3.5. So we're good there. Don't even need that one. I'm going to right click a little bit just to move it, take a look at it. Looking good. I got my L. 2.5, 3.5, 1, 2.5. This is 1.5, and this is 1. So let's extrude it. Still in the sketch mode. I didn't close it. If you accidentally close your sketch and you can't do something to it, you just double click on that sketch. Don't make a new one. Extrude, top left. And then I'm going to go backwards by dragging it. You can go either direction, front or back. It doesn't matter for what we're doing. So I'm going to drag it. And let me just double check how to read this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. 5 times 0.5 is 2.5. I'm going to type it in right here. 2.5 inches. Enter. Okay, so I'm going to come over to the right, hit isometric, take a look at my work. Oh, it's starting to look like the shape. Pretty good. Now we're going to add those cutouts. So we're going to look at the picture. We're going to add this and this. This looks like it's 1 by 1, 2, 3. So it's 1/2 inch by 1.5 inches because I'm using the grid spacing. And they're both 1 inch away from the edge. So let's do a new sketch, top left, click it, left click it. You have to select the sketch plane. It tries to help you by giving you a message. I'm going to click right here. I want this surface. I like to have it in front of me, but you could work right here. So I know it's the top of my object, so I'm going to click top. It rotates it sideways, but I know what it looks like, right? Yeah, see, I right click and take a look at it. I'm going to click top, put it in front of me, scroll out. choose the rectangle tool in the top left, and I'm going to make sure that I touch this line. Doesn't matter where, just going to touch this line, left click. I'm not holding my left click, I'm just moving my mouse, and I'm going to left click again. Again, not worried about the dimensions until after. Hit escape on my keyboard to see my mouse pointer change from the plus to the arrow. That means I'm out of the rectangle tool. Dimension tool, and we said this was, I think, 3 boxes wide by 0.5, so 1.5 inches. And I'm still in dimension, it's still highlighted. I'm going to left click here and just move my mouse. I'm not dragging, I'm not holding down the left click, just left click and then move the mouse. Left click again, and it's 0.5. Enter. So this looks good, but now I need that space in between here. Looking at the picture, I have to see, I need 2 boxes on the left, 2 boxes on the right. So dimension tool, still in it. If you click it again, it goes away. So if it's not working for you, make sure it's highlighted. Okay, I'm going to click the bottom of the new rectangle and the edge of the object that we made. So see how the color changes? Stay away from those dots in the middle. They'll trip you up. So I clicked 2 places, top and bottom, and it made the line go here. If you're not getting the line in the center, hit escape on your keyboard and try it again. Dimension, left click, drag off the object. We were close. At 1.08, I want 1. Enter. If this is 1 inch here and this is 0.5 inches, this is already 1 inch, this space. I do not have to dimension it. So now I'm going to hit escape on my keyboard. I'm going to come up to the top right, hit isometric, let it rotate for me so I can see this happen. Hit extrude in the top left. Extrude. You want to be very careful that we are removing material. So new, add, remove, intersect. We want remove. Click that. It should automatically change the direction. If it does not, you can just drag it. So it looks like it's going to go all the way through. You could also drag it on further. You don't need to, but you could, as long as you're off the object. So let me just show you that again. I'm in isometric mode. I hit extrude. I touch remove. I click that center rectangle. And then I click the check mark. If you have a little line hanging out right here, it means that you missed the original edge when you made that rectangle. So I would go back and do it again. Undo and go back and do it again. If you can't get it to undo, you just want to go ahead to sketch 2, right click, send it to trash, and start over. It's good practice. Okay, one more on the top. Let's make this piece right here. It's 1, 2, 3 by 2, and then it is about 1 inch away. I'm sorry, half an inch away from either side. So we're going to get a sketch, click on the top. I'm going to rotate this in front of me by clicking top, scroll out on my mouse, find the rectangle tool. So you want to make sure that you're clicking so that you see a color change. See how that line is changing? Anywhere in here, left click, drag diagonal, and see that color change again. Without the color change, you're missing the actual edge. So click that left click. I didn't worry about the size. I'm going to fix it now. So I know that it went all the way across, so I don't have to worry about that width right there. I'm going to hit dimension, and I'm just going to line it up on either side. This side, and then this side. So click the edge of the object, stay away from that dot, left click the new rectangle, drag it off the object, 0.5. I'm going to do that again down here, dimension, click the object, click the edge of the object, get off that circle, drag it to the left, left click, 0.5, enter. So that automatically makes it the correct size in the middle. I don't have to worry about that. Escape on my keyboard. Make sure you pause in between these things so you can work on your own object at your own pace. pause, rewind, go back. I'm going to right click a little bit so I can see it as I do the extrusion. Actually, I'm going to hit isometric because it's not behaving. Okay. So I scroll out. I'm going to come up here to extrude. Make sure I tell it I want this one. It knew, but sometimes it doesn't. It might come over here. This one. And I want to go the other direction. So I'm going to hit remove. That way it knows it's not adding something on top. It's subtracting something here. And it's 0.5. Enter. And then close your green check mark. Admire your work. You are amazing. Look at that. Go you. Thank you for being patient with me. Remember to pause, try it again, have a little fun. Bye.